I'm Donna Blanchard, and this is your ThinkTech Daily News for Monday, April 6th, 2015. One of the Shabab gunmen who attacked a Kenyan university and killed nearly 150 students last week was the son of a Kenyan government official. After the gunmen were killed, the Kenyan police paraded the gunmen's naked, bullet-ridden bodies in the back of a pickup truck throughout Garissa, and that's when one of the gunmen was identified as Abdirahim Abdullahi, the 25-year-old educated and broadly liked son of a local chief. The Shabab Islamist militant group in Somalia, thought to be one of the most violent offshoots of al-Qaeda, reportedly recruited Kenyans by offering them cash as little as $1,000. Kenyan officials are increasingly worried that the Shabab have succeeded in co-opting disaffected youth inside Kenya, especially Somali-Kenyans like Mr. Abdullahi. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta said in a televised address on Saturday that the planners and financiers of this brutality are deeply embedded in our communities. Some fear that security forces will now crack down indiscriminately on Somali-Kenyans, as they have in the past. Yusuf Hassan, a member of parliament representing Nairobi's Eastland neighborhood, which is predominantly ethnic Somali, said that the Kenyan police are quite predictable. They seem to never learn from their past mistakes. The knee-jerk reaction will be to charge into Eastleigh and turn it upside down and push up the anger and frustration level, leading to further alienation and radicalization. Thus far, in retaliation for the terrorist attack at Garissa College, Kenyan fighter jets have bombed 2 known training camps of the Shabab militant group in Somalia. Military officials said it is difficult to assess the damage because of heavy cloud cover, and that Kenya has carried out similar bombing raids after terrorist attacks. The Shabab militants, knowing what was coming, have abandoned their camps in anticipation of retaliation in the past. In Turkey, a prominent Istanbul prosecutor held for hours by 2 leftist extremists was killed last week in a raid by Istanbul police after hours of failed negotiations. The raid also killed the extremists. The prosecutor held was Mehmet Salim Karaz. He was held by members of a radical group prominent during the Cold War, the Marxist Revolutionary People's Liberation Party. They barricaded themselves in the courthouse, where they held Mr. Karaz for more than 6 hours. The apparent impetus behind the action was a politically charged case overseen by Mr. Karaz involving the death of a teenage boy in anti-government protests 2 years ago. Gunshots were heard during the negotiations. Then security forces outside the courthouse launched an attack that killed Mr. Karaz and his captors. During the negotiations, the captors used social media to release a photo of Mr. Karaz with his mouth taped closed and a black beret-wearing militant with his face covered in a red scarf holding a gun to prosecutor Karaz's head. In a country already known for censorship, that photograph has been widely circulated via news outlets and social media. Those news outlets and some individuals are now being denounced, and today Twitter and YouTube, along with other sites that published the hostage photo, have been blocked in Turkey. Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu called the outlets that circulated the photo tools of terrorist propaganda. That photo seems to be more debated than the police raid that ended with the death of Mr. Karaz. Now that a framework of nuclear agreement with Iran has been established, unsatisfied Israel today listed specific requirements that it said it wanted in any final deal. That list includes the cessation of an R&D on advanced centrifuges in Iran and disclosure of past activities with military dimensions. President Obama continues to assure that the preliminary agreement was, quote, the best bet by far to prevent Tehran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, and pledges to the Israelis that the United States has, quote, got their backs. I'm Donna Blanchard, and this has been your ThinkTech Daily News for Monday, April 6th, 2015. Ahui ho.